Well, we're gonna go through as much of this as we can here. So, first off, okay, so we need MBTI, Enneagram, and astrology all need to be covered here, because to progress to the next stages that I'm going to be talking about, it's combining all of them. And you'll see there's some very, very cool, interesting things you can do, like basically magical, like, you know, believe it or not. Put it this way, I'm going to be turning it into like a skill tree for like something that could be implemented into games, but it's like you could make the games into basically real life at this point. But, you know, here are the basic terms opening into this. So, okay, so MBTI. We need a refresher on what each of the functions are and the letter dichotomies, because it's been a while since I made those, and I know not everybody wants to like hunt through all my videos to, you know, find that. So we're gonna, you know, from this point do a recap. So the 4 dichotomies, there's 8 letters total. You have E and I, which are extroversion and introversion. N and S, which are intuition and sensing. I should say or, but T and F, which is thinking or feeling. P and J, which is perceiving or judging. And each like type is all of these letters put together into one type. For instance, I'm an INTP. So if you're just going by the 4-letter code, then that would say that I'm introverted and intuitive, a thinker, a perceiver, which would mean, according to how most people, or how should I say this? The way it was kind of watered down and popularized, that either means that I feel more energized when I'm alone, if I'm an introvert, which, you know, I am according to this, or as an extrovert, you feel more energized when you're like out with other people. But really, what it is it's, does reality kind of start with yourself, or does your reality kind of start with your external? And it always technically starts with the internal, but it's like how your reality kind of works for you. Like your perception, you know, how you do things. So, yeah, and then, you know, intuitive, you know, versus sensing would be, if you're intuitive, you're someone that spends more time like drawing connections between things, like what's behind something happening, versus a sensor looks directly at, you know, using their senses, looks at just or directly the information that their senses take in and use that. Yeah, thinking, you are someone that prefers to go with your logic or systems, or, you know, other people's logic or systems, which would be the extroverted version of it. Or feeling, which you prefer to go with your or others' emotions. And then perceiving or judging, perceiving is you prefer to constantly take in new information from your environment and not necessarily make a judgment or a plan out of what to do with it. Whereas judges take, the information they have and make a plan out of it. So now, obviously, people are more complex, but there are truth to the letter combinations, and once we bridge into this next level or layer of them, then you'll see how you can have the same 4-letter type code. It still describe you, but it'd be in reference to how that type is saying that you have this set of functions. Which the cognitive functions, basically what's happening is you're taking that concept of the extroversion and introversion and applying it into separating, going into the nuance of which kind of the perceiving or judging that you do. Is it, are you perceiving or judging the external environment, or, what's going on inside? So, the way that the code works at this level is you start to use the P or J as a reference point to tell you whether the first function that you extrovert that other people